What's happening, fam? This is Dunk. I am here to show you some ways that I am making passive income with crypto today. And again, anything that I talk about on here is just me showing you what I am doing. I'm not giving you any financial advice. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm just going to run you through a couple of the things that I am doing to make money with crypto. And I wanted to start off by just going over a good way for people to start understanding DeFi. Because I think that DeFi crypto can be a very confusing thing for a lot of people. And they don't know where to start. And so what I would actually do is I'm not even going to start with this trading site. I'm just going to go over here. Here we go. You don't need to see all those. I was just analyzing a chart earlier. This is one way that I actually make passive income with crypto and DeFi. See, I was analyzing a streamer coin. I made a quick flip on it earlier. Bought in, sold, made a little profit, got back out. And that's kind of what we're doing with how you make crypto. You find those opportunities and they start to pump or they don't. And then if you take a loss, you take a loss, but the goal is to have more wins than losses. And then there's also passive means of earning crypto. And then there's also other ways. There's Stacker Agent, which is going to become an autonomous trading bot pretty soon, but it's currently a custom GPT. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you could be making income with crypto. If you're wondering what my PFP is, that is a Draft Tower NFT. And actually, before I get started, I'll just show you what that is first, because everybody wants to know what Draft Tower NFT is. And it's been around. It's actually started off on ETH, and then we can go to Magic Eden. There we go. So if you want to join that community, the way that you get access to like the Stacker Agent, by the way, is 1,000 Gary coin, and you have to have one of these draft. And look, the cheapest one is 2.229 Solana, so it is a steal right now. I've been collecting these for years, and because I am very bullish on this project, so I'm happy to and I'm going to be showing you how I'm actually going to be claiming, not claiming, I'm going to be locking up some coin in the DAO. There's going to be a claim, which might even be tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, I'll be sure on my next stream, I'll wait and I'll show you how I claim it as well, just so we're all like showing you how I'm making the money. So what I was going to do here is I wanted to say, okay, a lot of people, they don't truly understand what DeFi is, so they don't really, or crypto or anything like that. So I always like to use Stacker Agent GPT as like a custom GPT. It does help with technical analysis and coin trading, but it does understand crypto a little bit better than just the regular ChatGPT. I do post a link to it in the description on YouTube, so you can go ahead and check it out there. I already created a prompt earlier that I was going to paste in. I'll actually show you this prompt, and then I'll show you how you could just type in. It's like reverse engineered a prompt just so I can give you a good one. I'm going to paste this prompt in here. So I said, explain crypto and blockchain to me like I'm a completely new and have zero background. Break it down as if you are teaching a friend who doesn't care about tech, but just wants to finally understand the basics. Use simple, everyday language and naturally weave in comparisons in mini stories. I like mini stories, like money, email, and arcade tokens, things like that. The examples click without feeling forced. Keep it fun, conversational, and impossible to get lost. By the end, I should feel confident enough to explain what crypto and blockchain are to someone else in my own words, without sounding technical. Make it detailed, but in my voice. Like I'm casually walking someone through it step by step. So I went in detail in this prompt. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go into nearly as much detail as I did. You always can. There we go. Let me refresh chat. And if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I am watching all the different chats right now, the different platforms we're going to. Okay, let's go and see what results it gives us. And I'll also do another one where it's just a very basic question. Also, I want to remind you, if you do get value from these videos or these live streams, if you wouldn't mind just liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell, it really does help tell the algorithm to share these videos and more like it with you and other people that need help making passive income with DeFi. Also, I have any resources that I put it at DeFiEarner.com. That is where you're going to access things like I have a mini course that I'm working on right now that I'll be able to share out there. And there's several links that are going to be helpful for you including a Stacker Agent GPT, which is also in the description of this video on YouTube at youtube.com/@theblockchain. So go ahead and check that out. But let's go and dive into our explaining crypto. What's the deal with crypto? Like, how many people have gone to the bar or wherever you're hanging out. Do I go to bar? I don't go to bars very much. I don't really go to bars. But how many people are hanging out with a friend and they go, oh, that funny money, blah, blah, blah. You get it. And again, this is a fresh output. So keep in mind, like I just took Stacker GPT, I gave it a prompt, and I'm going to show you after this that like a simpler prompt and what it will give you and how like I just went into detail. So think about cash in your wallet. A $20 bill is worth $20 because everyone agrees that it's worth $20. You can hand it to someone and it's instantly theirs, no middleman, easy, right? So it's $20 handed between two people. It's paper, and the reason why it's actually considered money is just because it's legal tender, is because it is decided upon. There's nothing actually backing government currencies like dollars or euros or pounds. It's just the belief that we all agreed that is something. That's what something is worth. There's no actual ledger or anything aside from maybe the Forex markets where people are trading it. Again, I'm just sharing this stuff. I don't give financial advice, so make sure that you are looking this stuff up yourself or use Stacker GPT to help you research it, but always do your own research. Okay, but when money went digital, like Venmo, PayPal, and bank apps, and also banks and all, it just not just those apps, but banks in general. So all banks, just keep that in mind. You stopped handing people bills. Instead, a bank or company keeps track of the who has what list. If you send $20 to a friend on Venmo isn't sending them your actual $20 bill. It's updating its list. And I know it's mentioning Venmo, but hey, writing a check was the same way. You write a check and there'd be a computer that, and granted it was done manually before there was a computer, it was into the computer systems, but it was right now, if you write a check, it just removes the balance from yours and adds it to somebody else's. So it's just moving the number. There is actually no money. So you lose $20, your friend gains $20. The bank or Venmo acts like a scorekeeper. The catch? You have to trust them to keep score right, not messing it up, not freezing your account, and not losing your money. So what this kind of means, if you really break it down, it means, so what if the bank, say you had $1 million in the bank, just let's play that out, and then the bank decides to change it to $1,000 in the bank. Ooh, man, that pisses you off, right? You're like, they just stole all your money. Now, they say, no, you don't have any money anymore. It's gone. It's just gone. So the bank could just change the number, and who's going to prove them wrong? They say, we're keeping track of the ledger. And now the bank could just say, no, that money didn't exist. It's not real. You only had $1,000, and you're trusting them implicitly with that ledger. And without it, there's no way for you to like take control and take it back. So it's very important. So the bank acts as the scorekeeper, and you have complete trust in them. So now, where are we going from this point? Oh, what's up, Jilly? What's up, Jilly? Ooh, thank you for posting the stream, Jilly. Appreciate it. YOLO. Great to see you. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out, watching on X. Thank you for hanging out with me, Jilly. Cool. If anybody else, yeah. Oh, what's up, Bearded? Great to see you, Bearded. Right now I'm going over like the basics of what blockchain 101, crypto 101, and exactly what the blockchain is and why you need to know about it. And in a little bit, I'm also going to be showing you a couple different ways that I'm actually earning in DeFi. But I always think that a foundation is a great place to start. And I find that a lot of people need to know this. All right, so now enter the blockchain. Now imagine if instead of one bank keeping the list, and a bank that you're trusting in, by the way, thousands of people around the world all have a copy of the same list. So it'd be like your bank ledger, but everybody has a copy. Every time someone spends, sends, or trades, everyone's copy updates at once. And this is always, this is how like mining works and everything, and you're fighting over who verifying that the ledger is accurate, and then it says, okay, this is the one that we're going with. It would take a lot of people to manipulate it at the same time, an insane amount of people to manipulate it at the same time to ever create a false transaction. That's blockchain. It's basically the public scoreboard for money and data. Nobody owns it. Nobody can secretly change it, and everyone sees the same version. And I'll give you an example right here. Like here's like SolScan is great, a viewer that you could view the blockchain on. This is for Solana. And let me know if you like me doing these streams. I want to be as helpful and educational as possible. And I want to be just showing you what I'm doing so you could copy what I'm doing and all that fun stuff. Because it's boring winning alone. That's the way I see it. This is one of the wallets that I'm actually going to lock up some Gary in. Let me just grab the wallet address. I'm going to show you an example. So this is what I mean by it's all public. So that's a wallet. I have some Gary in here. I have locked Gary, and then I have some Solana, and I just have that in there for gas. Now I can go down here. See, I got all so like the last transaction was 13 days ago, and then you go back before that, there was a transaction there, but this is all public. Anybody could see all these transactions. You could see if I transferred something in and out of this wallet. It's completely transparent, 100% transparent. So you can go and look at this. This is Solana again. Let me see. This is the Ethereum 1 Ether scan. It ended up loading. I'm more bullish on Solana than I am on Ethereum, but they are both tokens that you don't necessarily have. You're not necessarily buying. There's not a fixed supply, so they can continue making it more. So I think of both of them as operating system tokens. And that's the best way to put it, in all honesty, because they keep on making more. So if it were up to me, I wouldn't want Solana or Ethereum to be expensive. I like it being cheap, but I prefer the tokens that are on Solana to go up in value. And it's the nature of it. Okay. All right, back to it. I'm done rambling. Okay. So the blockchain is basically a public scoreboard, like we were saying, and I was just showing you here. Public scoreboard. Anybody could see it. You could see it. I could see it. So instead of I trust Chase Bank, which, by the way, I don't trust any bank. I'm super debanked. I do not like banks. I have one entry spot because I have to, because I sometimes get paid in fiat that I could onboard it into DeFi and earn better interest. And I'll show you that in a second too. Okay, I trust the math and the network of the people running it. Okay, so now So now crypto equals money that lives on that scoreboard. If blockchain is the scoreboard, then crypto is the points on the scoreboard. So again, value with money, it's really just created based off of what we believe. If we believe in the value of the money, it's going to potentially go up because we believe in it. That's the reason why governments kind of print money, and then they say, we're going to print money and then put it into the economy. But typically what happens is they print money, and then it causes inflation. And the thing I like about crypto and things like Gary Coin, for instance, is one that I'm really bullish on. It has a fixed supply of 25 million. 2 million are actually lost forever, so keep a bullish thing for me. But things that have a fixed supply that can't be printed. So again, the government can keep on adding more points to their scoreboard, while certain crypto coins like Gary or other similar tokens have a fixed supply and they can never print more, which is what I like. Bitcoin has a fixed supply, it can never print more. Part of the reason why I always buy Bitcoin for the long term, because they can never print any more of it. So if blockchain is the scoreboard, then crypto is the points on the scoreboard. Bitcoin was the first one. Man, before I knew what crypto was, I bought a hat with 55 Bitcoin. True story. I think Bitcoin was worth like 30 cents at the time or something like that. It was a pretty cheap hat too, and it was just somebody told me that I had to pay in that. So there is a point where I had 55 Bitcoin and I bought a hat with it. It's a sad day. So Bitcoin was the first one. Instead of trusting a bank to say, yep, you have $1, the Bitcoin blockchain says, yep, you have 1 Bitcoin and here's proof of it. It's the same exact thing, but like you'd show up on ledgers like this, but for Bitcoin. Same one. There's ledgers for this for every blockchain. You can go find them all. They're great. It was a public ledger saying you take 1 Bitcoin and send it here. And then there's an evolution of it over time where people would have to do it over the counter exchange and saying, hey, I'll give you this the same way dollars worked. But then now everything is blocked, like secured. You'd send it and then somebody would say, hey, I'm going to pay dollars for it, for instance. And then somebody would send it in that value, but there'd be a proof that it was sent. And there was a proof that it exists. And there's only so much that could ever exist. So Bitcoin was the first, and so the other blockchains have other types of coins, like Ethereum has ETH, Solana has Sol. That's actually a big thing that people get confused on. Ethereum is not the token, ETH is the token. Solana is not the token, Sol is the token. I consider those the blockchain ones because then they have like tokens, or like Gary is on the Solana blockchain, but it is backed by Sol and USDC. If it's under 25 cents, there's a pool that only goes at 25 cents for Sol, and there's a pool that starts at 25 cents. So if we get back to 25 cents, when we get back to 25 cents soon, it will actually switch back to that pool, and it will actually make it fluctuate with dollars versus fluctuating with Solana. And that's like when people have it paired to a coin, it fluctuates with that coin. But they all follow the same core idea. Money you can send directly to anyone, anywhere, no bank required. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't want permission for somebody to tell me what I could do with my money. And the thing that blows my mind, in all honesty, is that money was always this thing that people assume is like this paper that's in your wallet. But the thing is, that's a modern thing. Banknotes is a modern thing in history. The paper in your wallet, that's not a thing. People used to actually have actual value to the coin that they would spend. The value is in the coin, but that's changed. So think of it like email for money. Before email, to send letters, you needed stamps, envelopes, post office. Email made it instant, borderless, and you didn't need a middleman. Crypto does that for money. You don't need Chase, PayPal, or Western Union. So I could go ahead and just pop up like, here's this wallet, not that one. Here's my wallet. Here's this wallet right here. I'm going to lock up these Gary in just a little bit, and I'll show you how I do it. But this wallet, if I wanted to send it, all I need to do is hit the send button. Done. And just hit, I want to send Gary. Put a wallet address here, say how much I want, and send, and it would be done. Nobody would, I'd have to confirm it and make it say that's what I wanted to do. But there's nobody that would be telling me I can or can't do that. It's none of their damn business. They can't tell me to stop. Now, there's some countries that may block out a website that you may log into your wallet with, but they can't tell me I can't send it because this is my money. And then there's pools, liquidity pools, and I can get into that in another video a little bit deeper. And that's the way that we keep crypto decentralized from anything, that it will just grab from the best liquidity pool. It's really cool. I hope that you're getting the idea. It's like there's no middleman, nobody telling you what to do. But again, money was always decided on the value because of just a belief. And the thing is, I'm more bullish on crypto because there's actually liquidity pools backing it. When, crypto, for instance, you say, oh, that's just funny money. I've heard that. That is one of them. I roll my eyes when I hear people just say, oh, crypto's funny money. What backs the dollar? What backs the US dollar? It's just belief. Crypto actually has liquidity pools backing it, and I can look at the liquidity and see it in front of my eyes. So I'm far more bullish on that, personally. All right, so now let's go to the next part. And again, if you ever have questions about this stuff, maybe my description is not perfect. I just generated this with AI and I'm reading it to you. And if I saw something that I disagreed with, I would let you know. But I 100% agree with this. So step 4, but it's more than just money. Here's where it gets wild. Blockchain doesn't just track coins. They also track anything digital. So anything digital, you could turn it into an NFT. We were talking about, so NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens. And if you don't know what fungible means, it means that it's one is one. So a dollar would be a fungible token or a fungible thing, because if I gave you a dollar and you handed me a different dollar back, there's no difference in value. It doesn't matter. If a dollar is a dollar, $10 is $10, $20 is $20. It doesn't matter, because it's just numbers in a bank if you really break it down. So you have these tokens right here, and these are NFT tokens, and the N, in case anybody was wondering, is non-fungible, meaning this one is not like this one, not like this one. All of these are unique. They're all part of the same collection, but they're unique. So that's where the N in NFT comes from. So you can see the difference between something that you might find here, like a token, a meme coin or something, which is a FT, or you'll have something like this, which is an NFT. So they're very similar, but they're very different. So here's where it gets wild. So tickets, for instance, like a concert ticket, that could be an NFT, but it doesn't need to be called NFT. But it's basically the same concept. Collectibles, digital baseball cards, NFTs, all like exactly what I was just pointing out here. Draft Tower, that is an NFT or a digital collectible that you could use, and it's perfect. There we go, and then awesome. And just a reminder, if you're getting value of this, if you wouldn't mind just smashing that like button, hitting subscribe, and ringing the bell so you get notified the next time that I go live. Those are for YouTube. Wherever you're watching, please do all the stuff that you do on that platform. I love all you. And also, I always give out a bunch of resources at DeFiEarner.com. That's anything that I get, I'll just post it there. It's just so much simpler just to give you that website than to try and tell you to go to all the different spots. I also have, I'm going to be working on a little mini educational course that I'm putting in there, and you could access it there once it's ready. But okay, back to it. All right. So agreements, I'll pay you $500 when the job is done. And what that would mean is it's a smart contract. You could say, when this happens, you get this. It's the ultimate if this then that statement. Since the blockchain is one big tamper-proof scoreboard, you can use it for way more than just who has how many dollars. So who has anything. You just basically can track anything with it. And then you have, like I mentioned, liquidity pools that are backing it. It's like if an arcade token at Chuck E. Cheese, if you don't know what Chuck E. Cheese is, it's still around. It's just not the same. It's not the same as when I was a kid. I miss the good old Chuck E. Cheese. By the way, if anybody knows where to get a full Chuck E. Cheese animatronic set, you let me know, because I'm shopping for that stuff because I want it. Okay, so if Chuck E. Cheese tokens also suddenly worked as movie tickets, coupons, and voting ballots because the scoreboard keeping track of them is that flexible. All right, so it's like interchange, decentralized. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And then I will, why do people care? There's a few big reasons. And yes, I agree, freedom. No banks can freeze your money. You own it, and that's period. Something like this, Coinbase, this is not what I call decentralized. This is basically a Web3, a crypto bank. And so in the same sense that a bank is just making up numbers on a ledger, so is something like this Coinbase, but they have their purpose. I use it to bring crypto in and out of the ecosystem, all these different things. It's honestly what I've been using more to bring crypto out of the ecosystem more. So Coinbase is great to bring it in, but now I've been using Cast actually. And if you do want to grab Cast, you can get it at mydeficard.com. There's also a link in the description on YouTube, and I think it's up on the screen right now. And I love this card just because it's been made it so easy. You could stake your Solana here, but it's a great card because it has they have cash back and points, but then those points are going to end up being used for an airdrop, which is the same thing as any other crypto that you're going to get cash back for in any of those things. So you could just earn in DeFi and never send your money back to a bank and just spend it like it's actual cash, because it is cash. It's just not the cash that the government printed up. This is how I like to offboard it more and more now. So this, and there's other platforms, like I know that I think Gemini has a really good one as well, but I'm really loving Cast. So again, mydeficard.com, links on the screen, description on YouTube, go grab that. No bank could freeze that. So now, to be clear, like if I have a custodial wallet, they could technically freeze that. That's basically a bank. So just keep that in mind. But I keep money in, say, this wallet, which nobody could touch, not one even if Phantom, this is Phantom, it's the wallet that I have installed right here. Even if Phantom disappeared, I could take this and put it into another wallet because I have my seed phrase, and then I can access it. There's no one wallet. The wallet's not tied to one skin or UI. So just keep that in mind. So global, you can send someone money in seconds, whether they're next door or in Africa or anywhere really. But I think that this was a huge thing. If you know anything about the history of things like Western Union money orders, they would charge extreme amounts of money. It's very common in like the United States, for instance. People would be in the United States and they'd be sending it to another country that their family was living in. Maybe it's like Latin America or something like that. It's very common, especially where I live in California. You get a lot of people that would do that, but they would have to go work a lot, and then the whole chunk of their paycheck would go into paying this transaction fee. But imagine if you were able just to say, okay, say somebody's just going, and imagine this, you're on like in San Diego, right on the border in the United States, and you're sending something to Mexico. It's a different country. You go and you're going to transfer something over the border, and they're going to charge this huge transaction fee to send something literally a couple feet, if you think about it. It's them just pocketing your money because they can. Now, what if you took it and bought, say, USDC or Solana or any of these, if you want it to be stable, by USDC. Now, I could just take that coin, put it in this wallet, send it to another wallet that somebody in that other country has access to, and they have it, and then they can go do whatever. They could take that card, they can go, and if they have access to something like Coinbase, crypto.com, depending on what's available in their country, or Cast, they can now go and spend and pay their bills or spend it like cash and not have to worry about any kind of like huge transaction fees. There's always some transaction fees, but they're very small, especially on Solana. On Ethereum, a little bit higher. So open access, anyone with a phone and internet can play. No paperwork, no credit checks. That's the thing. That's another huge thing about it. There's like in Web 2 or like the old world that's not this. there was like a closed wall where people wouldn't allow people to have investments. And I think the beautiful thing about Web3, you could play at any level. And just if I think Web3 is all in just percentages. So if you have a big bag, you're probably going to get a bigger percentage. If you don't, you probably won't. Okay. New possibilities. People are building new types of apps, communities, and on top of the blockchain, powered by crypto. A good example of that is what's being built in Gary Club, which I'm going to go over. They have a Stacker Agent, which is, again, this is the Stacker GPT that I was going over, and I'm going to show you just exactly how to use it in a couple different ways in a minute. People are building technology on top of the blockchain. The catch, there's always a catch. Crypto can be confusing, volatile. Prices jump like a roller coaster. And if you're worried about that, stable coins. You have stable coins. You can jump right into a stable coin. You don't have to worry about it. Stable coins. And for the most part, they fluctuate like a fraction of a cent. But they usually, like when you sell them, they're 1-for-1 for the US dollar. And people have to back it by $1. So it's a digital version of $1. And there's pounds and stuff like that are the same purpose. Okay. Crypto can be confusing, volatile, prices jump like a roller coaster, and sometimes shady projects pop up. Yeah, people could click the wrong thing and then they could steal their money. So if you're worried about it, just don't ever connect your wallet to something that you're worried about. Your bank account wallet, don't connect this. Like this wallet that I'm looking at right now, there's only one thing that I ever connect it to, and it is to Gary Club in order to interact with these tokens right here, and that is it. That's just me. But I have that one wallet just for that purpose. But you can make as many as you want. That's why you hear stories about people getting rich and stories about people losing everything. But the other underlying tech, the idea of a shared scoreboard instead of a middleman, is solid, and that's why huge companies, banks, and even governments are paying attention. And just so you know, a lot of this stuff, you say, oh, this doesn't make sense. It's so archaic. There's a lot of companies that are doing this. They're just not telling you about it. It's just under the hood. So if you had to explain it to a friend in one sentence, crypto is a digital money that lives on the blockchain, which is like a public scoreboard that everyone can see and nobody can cheat. And from there, you can add things like it cuts out the middleman, it's a global instant secure, and people are building way more than just money on it, which is 100% the fact. Money, technology, all sorts of really cool things. It's just all decentralized. Cool. And like I said, you could always just say, explain crypto to me like I am a fifth grader. And you could just, I'm like, whatever you want. If you want it might use some like terms of like childlike terms. There we go. Let that generate. All right. So I'd like to see it's the same thing. Think about that. It's using examples like Pokemon cards, which I think is a great example. Why do people value a certain Pokemon card? Because they do. They're rare or whatever. It's like there's less of them. That parallels directly with NFTs. There you go. So it's Pokemon cards, blockchain equals class notebook. And you can go through this. I'm not going to read through all of this version. But crypto equals special playbook equals tokens. So again, like if you don't understand it, you can listen to this live again. You could listen to any of the re-uploads or anything like that. If you really say, hey, I really don't understand it, go to ChatGPT and have a conversation. If you want it to dive deep a little bit closer into crypto, go and use Stacker GPT. Again, there's a link in the description on YouTube. I also have it at DeFiEarner.com, also in a link in the description. And then when you start earning with crypto, you're going to be able to go and use things like Cast in order to spend it, just without even having to send it back to your bank, waiting for a transfer. And when you send it back to your bank, you're giving them access. I could transfer money into my Cast wallet and then instantly spend it. I just tap my phone, or you could have them send you a physical card. So there's just so many ways to do this. It's so many. Look, they have several different cards here. Look how much this one costs. That's a number that I can get behind. It says first 3 months free in eligible countries. Boom, boom. Yep. And you get it for free, and you get to start using it and earning points. Awesome. Okay, let me just go with this. Now, next, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to show everybody exactly how I am earning with GaryCoin using things like Stacker Agent to help me make educated decisions, automations, lending protocols. Like, I didn't even bring it up in this video yet, but there is Jupiter Lend, and I am earning a yield on this. It's in a different wallet, so it's not showing it right now. I'm earning a yield on these every single day when my money is earning. Look right here, earning me way more than any bank is going to be paying me just for my USD coin, which is equivalent to $1 in the bank. I am not earning 8.32% in the bank. I'm probably earning a fraction of a percent. So it is pretty dope. One of the ways that you get coins in Web3, like coins are distributed. So Gary has a limited supply. So let me actually go grab, I'm going to pull up, this is this wallet that I'm just about to do, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab transaction. Let's go and grab this transaction for this token. I want to go to this token, which is Gary coin. And I just want to go to the token address. So if we can notice right here, I want to point out the total supply. Now, the total supply is actually slightly inaccurate, in all honesty, on this particular one, because of, where are they? These two right here. I believe it's these two, unless there's a third one. So these two right here, these two transactions on Gary are lost forever. And so you could basically say about, I guess not even about, 8.16% of the total supply of Gary, look, worth currently nearly $400,000, is lost forever, from now until forever. There is literally no way that's ever going to come back. And the reason why is because there was originally the supply was like 1 billion, and it was burned down to 25 million. So even though it shows just shy of 25 million, which it's actually closer to 24 and a half now, this number's always going down because people go to things like Soul Incinerator is like one that I use all the time. You can check it out. Again, do your own research. Again, just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I'm just showing you what I'm doing. And also a reminder, if you do get value out of these videos, make sure that you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It does help tell the algorithm to show these videos to more people so they could help earn passive income with DeFi, just like I'm doing. And like this thing, I'm not looking for a full-time job. I want things as passive as possible for myself. Point is that this number goes down. So if you really just break it down, that's more like 22.5 million. And so one way that this token, not all of it is here, so there's a huge chunk of it that is controlled by the DAO. And the DAO is right here. You go to gary.club, and you could go ahead and go to the Gary lock right here. And there's also, if you want to go to the DAO and vote in it, it's actually right here where it says voting up here in the top right corner of this bar. But right now, I'm just going to click on Gary lock. Now, first thing you need to do is connect your wallet. Again, always make sure you are connecting to a safe site. But I'm going to click connect, and I'm going to click Phantom. It's going to give me this pop-up right here. You can see Gary.club. That is where I want to connect it to. It's my second lock wallet, and I'm going to hit connect. There we go. You can see right here, there is multipliers. If you multiply for more, you end up getting locked Gary, which is this. See, I have one lockup in this wallet right here. I'm going to zoom in. So I have 3,400 and change that I locked up. I locked it up for a 3x multiplier, which means that I get 3 times the weight in 2 things, really. One of them is, here, I'll just open this in a new tab so you can see what I'm talking about. This is actually the DAO over here. And you actually vote in the DAO with this locked Gary right here. So down here, I don't know if you can see it in my wallet at the bottom right corner, but you would deposit that token into the DAO, and then you would be able to vote on any proposal, and that is one use case for it. But the other use case is it says 0 right now because I'm expecting any day now there's going to be another claim. They approved $100,000, or not dollar, a coin, a Gary, which it's still quite a bit of money. Let's see, it's 0.19 cent, like 19 cents, 0.19 times 100. It's still like $19,000. That's pretty good. $19,000 that's being given out, maybe even tomorrow. So this is your chance to go grab it get some locked up. But you see, it's based off of this amount right here where it says the total weighted locked. So what I want to do is I want to lock more. I'm going to lock the rest of this 8,334 Gary, and I'm going to go here, lock it for 6 months. So instead of it giving me like the 8,000, it's going to give me 25,000 more to this number right here. So 25,000 additional coins. So now whenever that happens, I'll be able to claim a second claim, one for this and one for that. And I'll actually have more Gary that I could claim. I actually have another wallet that I locked up 1% of the supply. I'm really bullish on this token, and it's because the supply is going down. They're building utility. I'm really bullish on this token. Now, all what I would need to do if I was ready. So again, you pick the amount of Gary you're going to lock here. If there's ever a glitch with the UI, like I find that this one, that it's the same one that Bonk uses, and it works, you just have to disconnect your wallet and reconnect it. I don't know why it was saying access denied, because let's see if it still is glitchy on me now. But that's always a risk whenever you are locking something up. There's always a risk. So just know that. Again, not financial advisor. But the idea is that I'm going to be able to gain an increased amount of this. And I'm not planning on selling this anytime soon. So I'm bullish enough to say I'm going to take this $1,600 worth of Gary and lock it up for 6 months so I can get a perk of some Gary, additional Gary given to me out of this, the 100,000 that's given out every single month. So I'm going to hit lock Gary. There we go. And you get a pop-up right here. So things that it's going to cost is there is a rent fee. When you unlock, whenever that is, then you see right here I locked this up on August 15th, and I have to leave it locked up until February 15th, 2026. It literally just a 6-month timer. So now it's going to take that. I'll get it back when I unlock eventually. And now 25,000, lock Gary. There we go. It's going to take this Gary. It's going to give me these tokens. Remember, you will need these tokens to unlock. If you don't have this token, it will not unlock. So I'm going to hit confirm, and it's going to lock that Gary. It's just going to happen. Look, success. The success. Gary locked successfully. There we go. Sometimes it takes a second for it to load, but it should refresh. If it doesn't, just disconnect your wallet and reconnect it. But I'll give it a second. There we go. Now I have it. It removed it. Go down to lock Gary. I have a whole bunch more lock Gary there. Again, remember, do not lose that. You can deposit it into the DAO, but you need it to withdraw eventually. And then when the time comes, you just hit this. Maybe it's tomorrow. Like tomorrow, I deposited that. I'm going to make an instant profit tomorrow. Like I could use it right away. Now I got that locked, and now I have a larger percentage of this claim that's going to come next. So again, it's approved through the rest of this year. So we have September, October, November, December. So that's 4 more months, counting tomorrow or whenever it comes out soon. So we have 4 more claims this year, and we don't know what's going to happen after the end of that year. For all we know, there might be some other incentive in order to lock up, or maybe there's nothing. But the thing is, maybe the DAO is the reason to lock up. Maybe I know there's the GC100, which is a perk that Gary Henderson offers for people that lock up a 1% of the supply, which is it's lowering the total supply. Just like I said, that there's 2 million right here that are lost forever. That lowered the supply, and every time that somebody burns something with burns their dust in their wallet, there might be a little Gary in there, and they're not even thinking about it, it lowers the total supply. So that's it. And then when you have coins, so say at some point Gary coin goes up in value and you want to go and spend that, you can go ahead and take that to all sorts of places, including you can go to Coinbase or something. But again, I prefer going to things like Cast, where I could just take my coin and I could take it and turn it into something like USDC, and I could go ahead and I could take it and I could spend it instantly. Look, they have all these different wallets that you could choose from. Boost Cast points, and Cast points are an amazing reward system. You can get it at mydeficard.com. There's a link up on the screen, as well as in the link on YouTube in the description as well. But mydeficard.com will get you to that, and you'll be able to get, I believe that they give you like $50 promotion when you sign up now. But it's, like I said, it's free to sign up. No reason not to. But you do have the physical card costs, but the Apple Pay or Google Pay one, super simple. So there we go. Stake. You get to stake with the Cast validator. You can get additional points. So you see all these different levels that you're going to be able to get interest, and it's really a really cool ecosystem. And I know that Draft Tower and Gary Coin, they all have a very big connection with Cast. And when it happens, like we have Stacker Agent right here, that's going to be coming pretty soon. We've been talking about Cast a lot, which it's a great tool. But one thing that I like to point out is that there's always a lot of other ways to onboard and offboard your currency. So again, my name is Dunk, and I'm here to help you find ways to make passive income with DeFi. And like one we already talked about today, and if you're watching a different, like a clip of this or anything like that, we talked about how you can just basically educate yourself with things like Stacker Agent GPT or even just Chat GPT, and locking it up by interest, and that's locking it up in a DAO. There's Gary Coin. There's a lot of other DAOs out there that give perks, but I find there is not any ecosystem that I am more bullish on than the Gary ecosystem, because it's building like a company. Again, I am not giving you financial advice. I am just sharing what I know and what I've learned about crypto and how I'm making money myself. Like, it's really just me showing you what I'm doing. When I started, there was no such thing as DEXs or decentralized exchanges. There was no exchanges like this. There was no Phantom, and if you're on Ethereum, there was no MetaMask, which Phantom has Ethereum now too. So I like this better. I like this better than, if I was to use Ethereum, I'd actually use Rabby. Again, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but Phantom's a great choice if you're going for a Solana wallet. And then there wasn't so easy ways to spend your crypto like Cast at the time. So you would need to use things like Coinbase like this. So these are things called CEXs or CEXs, however you want to say it, centralized exchanges versus DEXs, which are decentralized exchanges. There's a couple of them that I've used in the past, but like when I first started with crypto, there was like even this trading bot that I was using. I'm not going to say it now because I don't want to bring it back up. I don't want anybody to go look for it, but it would take the crypto, and if I wanted to make an exchange and find like an arbitrage moment, and that means like the price is cheaper on one exchange, so it buys it there and then transfers the coin and then sells it for a profit. It would take that coin, and it would have to be transferred from like Coinbase to Crypto.com to Binance or whatever of the different ones are. So there still is a purpose for these, but just know that they are banks. So the first one that I really wanted to go over, and this is the one I use the most, and I have a service with them called Coinbase One. It costs me, I believe, $30 a month, and it cuts out all my fees. And it makes it like flat fees. I could trade on there, and there's no like transaction fee. But I still prefer not to leave my money on exchanges. So Coinbase One would be like Coinbase would be the first exchange. It is one of the first ones that for the centralized exchanges. And again, I would not leave my money on them personally, but you do you. If you would prefer to leave your money on a centralized exchange, power to you on leaving your money on a centralized exchange if that's what you want to do. Completely up to you. But I would not. I'd rather keep it on something like Phantom or any of the other decentralized non-custodial wallets, meaning that you have custody of them. So Coinbase is one. You can go and look at, they have a whole bunch of currencies on multiple blockchains on Coinbase. It is a very good platform. Coinbase One, that's what I was talking. Zero trading fees, more rewards. You could try it out for free. I like it, so I like it as like that. But they also have their own wallet, which this is like their decentralized wallet. But it is definitely it has a pro version and everything. So that's Coinbase, and it's the first centralized exchange that I would take a look at. Now, the second one that I would take a look at is Crypto.com. Now, Crypto.com, it's more of a mobile experience. They don't really have as much of a desktop experience, which is fine if you're living on the mobile life. That's worked. But they really grew to prominence because they had, like, one of the first ones, they have a crypto, like they have their credit card. It got really popular, their credit card. And then you'd be able to earn like crypto with your card, and you'd lock up their token and you'd be able to get interest. But very similar to the way that like Cast gives you points when you spend on, and they give you Cast points. Very similar in the same way that Crypto.com does it for their own tokens. You lock up their tokens, like we locked up Gary Coin in DAO, which I locked up. So now, same way, I can claim these because I locked it up. It's the same sort of concept. I locked up Gary. I get to claim, not today, probably tomorrow or something like that, or whenever it happens. There's no fixed day. I like that. I like the randomness. It makes people actually take action and not wait till the last minute. Or if they wait till the last minute, they might miss it, and I get more of the claim. So you better go and claim yours or lock yours up. And again, just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. I'm just sharing with you these different platforms. And again, I'm Dunk. I help you make passive income with DeFi. And also just a reminder, if you do get value out of these videos, make sure that you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It does really help share this out to the algorithm and get people to see the content that will help them actually change their life and actually stop trading their time for money. Now we just talked about Coinbase, then we talked about crypto.com, both good ones to take a look at. Now this next one, there's two different versions of it. Now, the first one right here, and this is Binance. Now there's another version that I'm going to talk about in just a second, but when I started, Binance was the only one, and it was available worldwide. It has a lot more tokens on it. So if you're not in the United States, you can go jump on Binance. But if you are in the United States, unfortunately, they have a different version for us United States people, which is fine. There's plenty of it. I don't even really use Binance as much anymore because I usually just operate in DeFi instead of on any kind of centralized exchange. But Binance is, you could go ahead and download the app and you can go check it out. But just like them, they have a whole bunch of what you can trade between cross blockchain on there. That's one of the benefits of a decentralized exchange, or centralized exchange, sorry, that you could trade across them. Again, so there's Coinbase, crypto.com, and then there's regular Binance. But there is another one for us American folk where they is Binance.us, and very similar to the other Binance. You're able to see the 180 plus cryptocurrencies. There was definitely more than 180 that are over here. But see, it says right now, Binance is read only in the country or region. So it's telling me that I can only read it there. So if you are in the United States, you will go to Binance.us, and then you can download the app, and you have access to what it allows you to have access over here. So 180 largest U.S. staking platform. So there are a lot of perks over here. Open at your account, link a payment method like to your bank. And to me, if this is your method to onboard your crypto from like your bank, so you get your paycheck and you'd rather earn interest doing something like Jupiter Lend, or maybe you're going to lock up coins, but this is, again, you can't get 8.32% from a bank, or you should be able to, but they won't give it to you, at least not right now. So maybe this is your method to bring it on. All right, so now we had our first one. Number one was Coinbase. Second one was crypto.com. And then the third one was Binance, the regular Binance. And then the fourth one we were going over was Binance.us. And another really popular one is one called Kraken. It's available in multiple countries. They have a whole entire ecosystem, like ways to earn. You could stake on there. Look at that. Stake, earn up to 22% on your crypto. There's a lot of opportunities, but the thing that I know that they try and say that you're gonna get these opportunities on these. Personally, I just use them to onboard and offboard my crypto. And again, I don't even use it to offboard my crypto anymore because I use things like Cast, which you can get at mydeficard.com, in order to just spend it and never have to actually onboard it. I don't have to sell my crypto and send it to a bank. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the tax laws on those things. You'll need to look it up in your country. So do your own research on that. But this just makes it so much easier. But if you go to something like Kraken, there's a whole entire ecosystem to trade stocks on Kraken. That's something you can't necessarily do on every exchange. You can now actually on Jupiter, by the way. I know I'm not going over that directly right now, but you can go to Jupiter Pro, and look at this, stocks. And these are on-chain stocks. We got Tesla right there. You have Nvidia, like all these. You can trade stocks on chain now, which is pretty cool. But you could do that even on something like Kraken right here. These are all the same. So Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, all these on chain. Or you could do them decentralized, like I was just showing you over on something like Jupiter. There you go. All right, like all these ones. Great. But you could also do ETFs. You could buy crypto. Look at all the crypto ones. Wrapped Bitcoin. Wrapped Bitcoin is like Bitcoin on the Solana blockchain. There's regular Bitcoin right there. See, it's the same price, off by a couple dollars actually, because it fluctuates. Cool. All right, so Kraken is a great option. Trade stocks, everything. Just go through this stuff. You're gonna pick the one that's right for you. Trade spot, like you have a full trading platform. So if you do prefer to trade on a centralized exchange, maybe this is right for you. Awesome. All right, so we went over Coinbase. That's one. There's crypto.com. There's the regular Binance, And then we also have Binance US for us US folks. And then we had Kraken. Kraken it's a good platform. I'd recommend you'd like Kraken is actually one of the really solid ones. And then next you have this one, Gemini, which is Gemini like Cast, for instance, which again, Cast at mydeficard.com, but you can go to Gemini and they also have a similar debit card that you could use. But the thing is that then I have to mess with an exchange. I love the fact that Cast is just independent, but Gemini does have a very similar card, but it's linked to their actual exchange. Coinbase has a card too that they're actually like a debit card that you could use with USDC, but I find that a lot of countries don't accept it. Like in places here actually don't accept it. So I would buy things online over on Coinbase using their Coinbase debit card, and it would be like, oh, you can't do this because maybe it's somebody in Canada that's trying to sell it, and oh, you can't buy it. It sucks. I know. I'm just griping now. So again, Gemini, you can see all their exchange, perpetuals, which it's basically options, and here's their credit card, and they have a wallet, Gemini dollar, staking, the Gemini credit card, gas, you get cash back, see if you're eligible, but again, I like it, but it's linked to an exchange. I'm still going with Cast on that one, but it's worth checking out. It is like Gemini.com. Go check out Gemini as one of the options. And with these, you also need to do, with all of these, you need to do something like KYC, know your customer, meaning you have to verify your identity and all of those things, like sending your passport or your driver's license or whatever. So again, we had Coinbase, then we had Crypto.com, which they're sponsoring. It used to be the Staples Center, it's still the Staples Center in LA, but now it's got the big logo that says Crypto.com on it. And then we have Binance, and then we have Binance US, then we have Kraken, then we have right here Gemini, and then the last one that I really wanted to go over, and this is, I'm pointing out like more of the safe ones. There's so many other decentralized or centralized exchanges that you could pick from, but this one, it's owned by Robinhood. It's called Bitstamp, and it's a fairly safe one because Robinhood, aside from them nearly crashing the financial market because of GameStop, damn Robinhood, then it's at least associated with a big company. So you could sign up with this one, see the perks, like same things that I was pointing out, like you could lend with confidence, you could lend out your crypto, earn interest. But again, a lot of these things you could do decentralized through things like Jupiter. There's other platforms besides Jupiter that do this. One that I like to lend on is this one, Save.Finance. I like this one. Don't have anything in this particular wallet that I'm connected to right now, but yeah, you can get a whole bunch of good interest from that. There's all these things that are built into these. There's DeFi versions as well, but maybe you want to be on the exchange. Maybe you just want to be around Robinhood and you don't want to mess with decentralized wallets and stuff like that. So maybe this is the right choice for you. So that's Bitstamp, and it's just at bitstamp.net. Just remember, it is .net. And they have a mobile app. You can earn for staking, market, all that fun stuff. Okay, so quickly again, we got Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance US, Kraken, Gemini, and Bitstamp are 7 really solid on-ramps, in my opinion, because you could still send it back here, swap it back into dollars, and then transfer it to your bank. I personally, again, I'm sounding like a broken record. I'd rather just use it, send it to my Cast card. And again, my link is mydeficard.com. It's up on the screen in the description on YouTube, and you can just type it in, and you do get like a perk whenever you go through somebody's link. That does help me earn points, so I could do more videos like this and help you learn how to make passive income with DeFi. So just alone, earlier I locked up my Gary, and that's going to give me passive income, maybe even by tomorrow. I'm going to be able to actually get more passive income by tomorrow because of this. It's pretty cool. And like I locked that up on the 15th, and I think that it claimed like right afterwards, so it's good. Okay, so what was I doing? Yeah, let me see. This is a great way to spend, and those are all great exchanges to onboard crypto. You could still use them to offboard, but I just personally have been using my Cast card because it makes it so much easier. Let's just go back over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to start a new chat with Stacker Agent. On my last stream, we were going over how to do perps. And by the way, from that perp, it hit, and I made a profit. It was great. So I made money. And that was just having AI analyze the charts for me. It made it really simple. So advanced technical analysis, you could analyze tokens and price action. Now, like for instance, you could take a token that is right here, you could just go here and say, I don't know what's going on. So I just say, what are the top Solana gainers today? I just click that one button and look at this. It's as simple as this to really get what's going on, right? There's pump.fun. There we go. Meme core. I want to give me the top 10 best volume and opportunity for gains. So now I can look at these ones, and then I can dive a little bit deeper. Entry zone, retest, and I can go to this page, or not this page right here. See what's cooking, or organic, or what's popular. I can see what's going on that's popular right here that might be getting volume. Let's see. If I want to go here, like I could say cooking, search by volume, and I can just see what the 24-hour volume is actually doing. Like, there we go. Okay, so now I can just go through these different tokens and start researching them. Or I could say likes, Wolf, Jupe, Pump. So maybe I want to see if Pump is worth an opportunity right now. So I'll come back, I'll grab the contract address right here, and I will go back over to ChatGPT or Stacker GPT. How about, should I buy this token right now for gains? I put the contract address. There you go. Boom. It's giving me all the information about it. I don't have to dive down, even if you like, if it's opportunity. Now, Stacker Agent score, it's going to break down the Stacker score, 80, 80, 80. Look, it gave me an 80. High conviction, momentum, long, but not ideal entry right now. So it's saying don't enter at the moment. And that's the thing that I love about using tools like Stacker Agent GPT, or soon Stacker Agent, is that it's not giving you financial advice, but it's definitely telling you, hey, don't enter now. And a penny saved is a penny earned, in my opinion. You're avoiding actually spending money that you would have spent before. Perfect. Okay, so now I can say, okay, I'll come back and maybe I'll go find another token and dive deeper. But it's really that simple, like that you could just, here's the different charts. You can see it's dipping. Right here, I have indicators. Here's my Bollinger Bands. And if I do this, look at this. I also like to do this. I can easily just copy the image. There's a 1 minute chart. And I could just go and paste it in here, and I could just give it a couple extra charts just to give it some fresh. It has API access to Bird Eye for the charts and the data, but I always like to give it some really up-to-date charts to the second so I can get the most accurate suggestions. So give it a couple charts, and you don't have to give it all of them. There we go. Oh. There you go. Updated charts. Perfect. Thanks for sharing the charts. Let's break it down. That's the same thing. See, clear downtrend after the push. So again, I always like to ask this too. What would you do if it was your money? And you can go through these on your own time, but it's as easy as dropping in a contract. Again, this is Stacker Agent GPT that allows you to just drop the contract in and get the analysis on it. But boom. So say if my order filled, and this is what it would be, its execution plan if you placed the order right now. But it had said to wait earlier. So yeah, I mean, it's such a great tool. Helps you do technical analysis without you having to really think. Helps you find the tokens to try and look at and then you just dive into those tokens and you find the one to try and take action on. And again, volume is what's gonna, if there's volume, there's opportunity. So where is it? I know this one's been pumping pretty good and it's dipped a little bit, but it's, look, there was a pump there, it's correct. And then if you, when in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. Look, it's still above where it was, and it could correct. I'm sure there's going to be some volume, people will cover, all that stuff. So this was a token that's been running up pretty well. It's only 11 days old. Cool. And if you wanted to analyze this token, you're like, let's just do that real quick. Start a new chat over here, just so you can see what I'm talking about with a different token that was already running up. Start a new chat. There we go. And let's see what it gives us. There we go. See, 30 minutes has been up, but before it was down, it's been fluctuating, and I'm sure it's going to hit later today. But see, now the confidence, bounce, breakout, perp zone. I think it's a perp. This AI is not perfect. It's not a perp, not a perpetual. It is a coin. Got it. Bam. Thanks for pointing that out. You're right. There you go. So momentum check. I love that it gives you the stacker score. 71, bounce, breakout, perp zone. Yep. Current dip range. So if I entered, I could enter at this price. And then you can pump back up. I can't speak now. But yeah, and then it would tell you, like, take profit. If you're looking for a small little scalp, you do that, or you could wait until it pumps back up to a higher amount. There's so many opportunities here, and the tools are in our hands. And they're, like, most of them are free. Stacker Agent GPT is free. Once it becomes autonomous, it will require a draft and 1,000 coin in your wallet, but this is free. Go and use it. Why not? Why not use the tools that are free in front of you? It's in the description on YouTube. And today we went over a couple things. We went over basically Crypto 101, explaining it to somebody that's like a complete newbie, which I think is really cool. And then we went over how I am actually locking up my Gary coin for interest. Basically, you can call it interest. It's not like, it's the distribution of the tokens. And I just remember, there's only so many tokens that exist, and the more of them that I could just like earn, especially ones that I'm not actually buying, that means that I own a larger supply of the entire ecosystem. You know, some of it, there's some in Radium, there's some in other platforms, and people that have more than me in their wallet, and some have less. And that's completely fine. But I'm bullish on this. I know that 2 million of them are lost forever. They're right here. Yeah, these two are lost forever. So they're never going to be touched. I locked mine up so it wouldn't show here. It's a way that I can actually earn Gary without actually having to do anything. Then we went over a couple plays that people can on-ramp things, like Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance. There's Binance US if you're in the United States. Kraken. There is Gemini. There is Bitstamp, which is by Robinhood. But then, like, you could off-ramp with those, but I like to off-ramp with Cast at mydeficard.com. Again, there's a link in the description as on YouTube, as well as right on the screen right now, mydeficard.com, and you can get started with Cast. It's no joke my favorite way to spend crypto now. And it just makes it so easy. I don't even have to send it to my bank anymore, and I can completely just debank using tools like this. And it works worldwide, which is, I think, the big thing, because I know Coinbase has them, but it's so much better that you don't ever have to worry about being declined because you're in a country that doesn't have a thing with that, like that particular platform like Coinbase, which is great. And then we went over a little bit of ways to utilize Stacker Agent GPT in order to analyze tokens and see if they're worth jumping into to make some profit, because that's what we're here for. And you could also use this for things like perps and all sorts of things to analyze anything on the Solana blockchain. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity for all of us here. Cool. All right. Again, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm going to be doing more streams like this. If you have any comments or requests on how I'm going to do it, just let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter, X, and just reach out to me and let me know. I'm happy to teach whatever you need to know, because I want everybody to stop trading their time for money and start making passive income with DeFi. And also make sure that you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Just a reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube, or just if you see this, repost it onto X, and so somebody else could see it that needs to see this. And you never know what was talked about today that might change somebody's life. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, my name is Dunk. Keep creating, keep earning passive income, and I will see you in the next video.